Saigon. I'm still only in Saigon. Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle. When I was home after my first tour, it was worse. I'd wake up and there'd be nothing. I hardly said a word to my wife until I said yes to a divorce. When I was here, I wanted to be there. When I was there, all I could think of was getting back into the jungle. I'm here a week now, waiting for a mission, getting softer. Every minute I stay in this room, I get weaker. And every minute Charlie squats in the bush, he gets stronger. Each time I looked around, the walls moved in a little tighter.
This haunting dialogue by Lieutenant Willard, who is played by Martin Sheen, is the introduction into Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Last time, we discussed the epic, problematic production that went into this film. Now we find out if the unbridled chaos brought forth a beautiful flame. These words are quite striking and haunting when one simply just views the film. But when one knows of the issues that went into it, these words are symbolic and act as a disclaimer to this film. Then one can be drawn into it. Francis Ford Coppola does a beautiful job of displaying this frenzied, crazed production throughout this film. We see the despair of fighting in the Vietnam War, the fact that many soldiers fell into a dark psychological abyss. They question the why and feel torn to carry out orders. It is almost as if Coppola had these same questions and emotions while filming. No character in this film exemplifies this more than Lieutenant William Kilgore. Kilgore is portrayed by Robert Duvall, and despite minimal screen time, he garnered an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and in my opinion, he should have won for this performance. The surf-crazy, bloodthirsty general is what many perceive commanding officers to have been in Vietnam. These two scenes show the madness of Kilgore, how he is destroying a village so him and his troops can surf safely. And then the second scene includes Duvall's most memorable line regarding napalming the village for the safety of surfing.
Taking fire, I'm taking hits all over our farm. 3 o'clock, my position. Drawing fire, I'm drawing heavy fire. Mayday, mayday, I'm going in. The tail rotor's out, I got control.
What do you think?
Wow, it's really exciting, man.
No, the wave! The wave!
Oh, right.
Look at that, break both ways, watch. Oh, good 6-foot swell! What do you know about surfing, Major? You're church. Hey, come here. Change.
You mean right now, sir?
I want to see how rideable that stuff is. Go change.
Still pretty hairy out there, sir.
You want to surf, soldier?
Yes, sir.
That's good, son, because you either surf or fight. That's clear. Now get going. I'll cover for him. And bring a board for lads.
Get here.
Lads, I'll bet you can't wait to get out there.
What?
See how they break both ways? One guy can break right, one left simultaneous. What do you think of that?
Bill, I think we gotta wait for the tide to come up.
Hey, Lance, come here, look. The tide doesn't come in for 6 hours. You want to wait here for 6 hours? Okay, fellas, quit hiding. Come on, let's go. Just can't take off. Let's go.
It's a little risky for R&R.
If I say it's safe to surf this beach, Captain, it's safe to surf this beach. I mean, I'm not afraid to surf this place. I'll start to surf.
And now, our second clip.
Moment of the Stone Age, son. Hey, son, no.
No, man, no.
All right, now, let me take care of this. All right? Get that out of here.
Sorry.
See you now. All right.
No, man, sorry.
Jimmy!
112.13, roger. They need some napalm down in the tree line. Can you get twisted around time to put it down here? Right, 1-3, you were big as fuck with it. What's the target? Gonna suppress some mortar fire off the tree line down there. Roger, here we go. Good. Give it all you got and bring in all your ships. Wing abreast.
Let him out, give me my chopper. Get him back to the hospital. No. You gotta go with him. Come on, go. Get it out of here. And tell my guys I'm on my board.
Big Duke 6, this is 1-3. The jet's being by now. There, you got about 30 seconds to on station. Get your people back and head down. This is gonna be a big one.
Don't worry. We'll have this place cleaned up and ready to Jimmy, son. Don't you worry. Give me those shorts. These are from the air cam. A present for me and the boys. I want to see you do your stuff in them. Out there, okay? Son, nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know, one time we had a hail bomb for 12 hours. When it was all over, I woke up. We didn't find one of them, not one stinking dink body. Smell, you know that gasoline smell, the whole hill. It smelled like victory. Someday this war's gonna end.
As if encountering Kilgore did not serve as a great example of the madness, borderline psychosis, and lack of restraint the soldiers in this film have, then the rest of the journey does just that. As Willard and the men on the boat journeyed to Kurtz's camp, they descend into madness. One by one, men are lost, but their sanity leaves them before they take their last breath. This is what makes the film exceptional. We are not viewers. We become a part of this journey. You become entrenched with these men and feel yourself getting detached from reality, much like they do. That is what makes this film magical. The insanity reaches a simmering climax when Willard finally encounters Kurtz. Despite the previously mentioned issues with Marlon Brando, he delivers a haunting, sympathetic performance. In this next clip, we hear about his views on the war and why he has become this madman in the jungles of Cambodia.
Horrors that you've seen. But you have no right to call me a murderer. You have a right to kill me. You have a right to do that. But you have no right to judge me. It's impossible through words to describe what is necessary to those who do not know what horror means. Horror. Horror has a face, and you must make a friend of horror. Horror and moral terror are your friends. If they are not, then they are enemies to be feared. They are truly enemies. I remember when I was with Special Forces, seems 1,000 centuries ago, we went into a camp to inoculate some children. We left the camp after we had inoculated the children for polio. And this old man came running after us, and he was crying. He couldn't say. We went back there, and they had come and hacked off every inoculated arm. There they were in a pile of little arms. And I remember I cried, I wept like some grandmother. I wanted to tear my teeth out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I want to remember it. I never want to forget it. I never want to forget. And then I realized, like I was shot with a diamond bullet right through my forehead. And I thought, my God, the genius of that, the genius, the will to do that. Perfect, genuine, complete, crystalline, pure. And then I realized they were stronger than we, because they could stand it. These were not monsters. These were men, trained cadres. These men who fought with their hearts, who have families, who have children, who are filled with love. But they have the strength to do that. If I had 10 divisions of those men, then our troubles here would be over very quickly. You have to have men who are moral and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling, without passion, without judgment, because it's judgment that defeats us.
So the final question has to be, was it worth it? Was Coppola liquidating assets to complete the film and begging for loans at every turn, not to mention every other issue previously discussed? Was it all worth it in the end? Apocalypse Now opened on August 15th, 1979, and grossed $322,489 in its first 5 days. Its final gross was over $40 million in the States and over $100 million worldwide. It won the Cannes Film Festival Palme d'Or, which is their award for Best Film. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It won for cinematography and sound editing. Finally, one would be shocked to not see it in any highly regarded all-time top films list. Sadly, this was the end of Coppola's golden touch. Following this film, he made a string of acclaimed but financially disappointing films. This led to his studio incurring massive debts, and to pay off said debts, he had to sign a cash grab deal with Paramount Pictures to make the much maligned and criticized Godfather Part 3 in 1990, after his studio declared bankruptcy. During this film reviewer's apocalypse, I unfortunately could not come up with a definitive answer on if it was worth it in the end. That is only a question that Coppola himself could answer. What I can say is this film is the greatest war film and a staple of American cinema. Any fan of film needs to have this on a must-watch list. It takes you through the entire scope of emotions and thoughts. You may not even be able to draw your own conclusion after one viewing, but at least you would have experienced it. Before I sign off, I would like to thank everyone for their well wishes, thoughts, and if you were so inclined, prayers while I battled COVID-19. I really, truly do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I do thank you. For Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a classic film review with Erich Pilcher.
Lost in a romance, wilderness of pain.